Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is an impromptu reading. I just got some news from my son and been watching some stuff that's been going on the last couple days. Russia with all their battleships off the Florida coast, and China threatening war. And so, these are things that were prophesied in the Bible, right? They're in Revelations. We know that there's going to be a lot of talk and about a lot of violence. And so, what I want to do today is talk to you about war. War is not glorious. War is not, um, you know, the only reason we ever go to war is because some powerful narcissist is trying to control something that he can't work out in a conversation with another leader. And ain't none of those leaders worth fighting for. Now, what I want to say here next is very important. It's one of the most important things God wanted me to express, and this will be Creator's view, is that any man can think anything, but so as he thinks he is. But here's the thing. A rich man can declare war, and then he can appoint the other people to carry it out. And it's those that take the actions to carry out the plans of the war, because it's like a work for the devil, right? And so, because murder is evil, death is not honorable. Life is holy, not death. What's holy about death? What's honorable about death? You no longer get to work on your life. It's the end of living. So, now I'm not doing this to teach people to be afraid of death, because there's nothing to be afraid when you die an honorable death at an old age and you've acquired much knowledge and wisdom to take with us into the next world. Now that's an honorable death. You take care of yourself, your vehicle, you love your body, you eat your apples, you do your exercises, you take your breathing seriously, you meditate and offer your mind up to better things than just the day-to-day things. These are offerings unto God. And when we die at the end of our life, it's honorable, because we take much and many lessons with us, but not violence. What is violence? Violence. That's war. And look, again, the guy that orders war, well, he gets away with it, and his karma does not come to him. He lives a long life. These leaders do, don't they? Because they get dumbasses to carry out their missions for them. Such as my son. He was in the war. I begged him not to go. I begged him. And he is in horrible shape now. He should be a young buck of 35, But no, he's sick mentally, physically, psychologically. And that's the karma that comes from the degrading things that we do when we go to war. When I say we all go with those that go to war, because we support them. And what we support them in, we carry part of that responsibility. Yeah. The government don't really support the guys that go to war. They don't care what happens to them. They make a big show of it. But it ain't their children. Why? Why ain't it their children? Because their children are getting the best college education that money can buy. They don't got time to send their kids to war, to such stuff. You hardly ever hear of a leader's kids going into war. Very few and far in between. And when they do, they're famous. So, this message is probably going to be a whole lot of talk about my view on war. I guess I should pull an archetype card. It really makes me upset to see our sons and daughters, and I say our, because we are a family in this world. And if something happens to your children, it affects me. It affects everybody, whether people know it or not, because we're all connected. We're all connected, all around this world. We don't want to see nobody's children go hungry or do without or be locked in cages. Most of us don't even treat our animals like that. And I'm one of those people. I'm the mother that cooks my baby's food when I'm cooking food. When I have chicken and peas and carrots and rice, my babies have it, my puppies. And anybody that's around, I feed. And this ain't about me. This is about war. Look, I'm all tied up right now. I'm all tied up. China talking about war, Russia at war with Ukraine. And, it is prophesied in the Bible that there will be so many talks of war, but let it just be talk. And it's up to us to make sure it only stays talk. Why? Because we deny the wars. They're not our fight. We want to fight to stay strong here in America. And we need to teach people that we do not have to go to war. The archetype of the day is the animal. And God, ain't that fitting? And listen, I found this card yesterday. You saw me shuffle. But I wanted to actually study this card, okay? Now, I can even prove that. Because I got it wrote down here. I just want to show you because I like to prove things. Where's it at? Oh, there. The animal. See? Even started writing a few things down about it. And, right now I'm so excited I can't remember what I read about it, okay? So we're going to have to get the book out for this. But it is fitting. An animal, we're all animals, right? Every single one of us. I don't care what anybody says. And we can prove it because we got hair between our legs, hair on our head. We might not have hair on our faces and everything, but some animals don't, right? Monkeys, some of them are hairless faces and stuff like that. So, yes, we're all animals. All of us. That's one of the things that I do remember about this card. And we do have the primal instincts in us to fight, to kill, to murder if we get mad. We have horrible things in us that, even me myself have felt like that. And if we get pushed to a certain place or a certain extent, we can be dangerous, just like any animal, right? I know I can be. Yeah, I'm not one that takes a whole lot of poo-poos, so, if you get me riled up and you get up in my face, I do grow fangs and I grow claws and, the hair on my back stands up and, I'd be like ready. I'm any mama bear. I'm a mama bear, basically, Mama bear be fighting. She be ripping your head off and I'm not even going to act like I'm not that kind of person because I am of nature. I am an animal, but I don't want to kill anybody. I don't want to hurt anyone. I usually, that's why I have boundaries. I keep all those people and things out that bring out the beast in me because I can be a beast. And I know that. And so can many people be beastly. And when they get into war and these people get together, they do horrible things. They rape, they hurt children, they do that mob mentality. And then our children that are involved with these things have to suffer the karma of it. And of course, that karma falls back on us too. Because we're part of, did they go because we were encouraging for them to go? Did we ask them not to go? I begged my children not to go. None of them went but one. I was very disappointed. And he even though he come back without a scratch on him, he's suffering through the things that he did while he was there following others. And that's why we're not supposed to be followers. We're supposed to be leaders. Leaders, I begged you. No, Robbie, I said, don't do that. Don't go kill other men for another man. Let that man do his own dirty work. And this is what we, the people, need to start doing. We need to tell any of our leaders that want to use our children to fight their dirty wars to fight it themselves. Actually, if they were true alpha leaders, if China had a beef with whoever, he would invite them to the ring. Let's get in the ring, box it out, boys, just like the picture on the Five of Fire in here. Yeah. Come on, let's have a big fight. Let's put it on TV. And man, they could make so much money off of it, right? Just by having that fight. They could fight each other over who wins gets what they want if they can't work the deal out. It's up to we, the people, to make sure they do these things, you see. They have become such powerful and out of control leaders that they literally do not care about the lives they waste. Most countries have starvation, people starving, undereducated. Look, they don't care. They're not like a good mother that's going to go down in the nooks and crannies and find out what in the world is going on and why things are happening like this. I feel like I'm a damn good mother. I go down to the nooks, the nooks and crannies to find out why people do the things they do. Well, we know that leaders are just powerful narcissists that want control of something or to manipulate something. And if they don't get to do that, then they pull out the guns, the tanks, the warplanes, the warships, and they're like, "Come, well, we'll see I'm bigger than you, and I got better toys, and I'm going to use my toys to mow over you, and we'll see what happens." Well, that pisses me off. We've been given our children for so long now. I want to say since Jesus Christ, since they claimed that his father, God, gave him as a sacrifice for God's sins or for the sins of the world. What the hell? If the world can't pay for its own sins, it can't have the children to do that. It's time the world stood up for its own sins. Each and every one of us. Each and every one of us to take a deep look at who we are. What is inside? Are you willing to forgive your neighbor, or would you rather kill him? Seven of water. I'm really upset. I'm sorry, guys. I don't understand the concept of war. I don't understand it. War. Turn it around the other way and you get Ra. See, that's backwards from God. Introverted. War is a deadly disease in the hearts of men. You hardly ever hear a woman saying, "Let's go to war." She might defend herself. She might defend her country. But you don't hear no war cries or no woman parading around showing off her war tanks. I'm looking for water, guys. I'm really upset this morning to wake up to all of this, and I'm just asking everybody to pray to God to stop it in its tracks. I literally threw the energy that way. I told them they ain't got no right to declare war and use our children as the pawns. Remember, the pawns get knocked off the board. right? Yeah. First, Seven of Water, knowing, trust, faith, surrender, release, peace, certainty, passive. Surrender to the flow of life. Relinquish the need to control. Allow things to be as they are. Even this war, there won't be nothing we can do but allow it. But in the meantime, we sure can put some energy towards, we would like to stop it. We would like to stop all these kind of things that are violence to our children, that teach more violence, that bring in more illness. Check most vets out. They're sick. Most vets come home and they don't get to live very long before they begin to take on the illnesses of their mind and body and souls. Very few live to a healthy, good life. They get diseases, mental and physical. They get arms and legs blowed off. They lose their minds. They lose their families due to separation. All happens as it is meant to. So what I'm doing right now, I'm meant to do. I take it like that. Not that war is meant to happen, but we're meant to stop it. The future will bring what you need, not what you want. That's right, because God actually gave me a download this morning that if a bunch of people come to go to battle against certain places, it damn sure wakes you up. That's a wake-up call. Talk about waking up. Oh, I hope and pray we don't have to wait until everybody wakes up till the war comes. I hope and pray that we can go ahead and begin smacking ourselves upside the head and waking up now. That we've got leaders that need to be bridled and kept under control so that they don't use our children to fight their battles. Our resources to destroy other people and animals and nations and values. Control is just an illusion. You can't control anything or anyone. We got to give everybody free will. Free will. And to work things out. You know, nobody is perfect. Nobody. None of us. We all make mistakes. You know, I'm one of the biggest mistake makers in the world. How would I have learned so many things if I hadn't made so many mistakes? It hadn't been easy. Because we don't come with a book. We don't come with a manual. And we have to learn through the experiences we've already experienced and use that even to move forward. Some of us are born in the dirt. Others are born with a silver spoon in their mouth. And those born with a silver spoon in their mouth haven't had life hard enough to know what life is like for others. So to them, it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing to take things away from them. Nothing. Whether it's a life, a family member, a puppy. And yes, to me, a puppy means as much as my children. I love my animals. I love all animals. I love everything God created. I do. I don't care if it's a snake or a bee or a fly. I mean, I don't want the fly on me. I brush it, tell it to go over there. And then if it don't listen, it gets in trouble. But the thing is to love all things is such a peaceful way to live. To love everything God created. God knows I love everything God created. God knows that. It's not hard to pull the whole world into my heart and love it. The whole of creation. That's big love, baby. That's some big love there. And that's why me and God are so close. I realized a long time ago I don't own anything. While I was homeless, I realized that the whole earth is my home. Wherever I plant my feet and lay my head that night, that's my home. I learned that during those 10 years that I never had a roof over my head. You know, I learned that where I never stayed in the same place more than one day. I learned these things. And it helped to comfort myself because I was homeless. And when I first became homeless, it was really, really sad. Like I got no place. And Mother Earth says, yes, honey, this whole planet's your home. Go ahead and dig your roots into me. And wherever you lay your head, there I'll be, your home. This whole planet. That's what Mother Earth told me. She loves me. I love her too. I love all her babies. I feel like her babysitter. Okay. Your influence on the future is limited. Yes, it might be. But every little bit counts, right? Every little bit counts. Every little bit counts to lean into with that positive attitude and hope and pray that what you're trying to express to the people about things will help in some way or another. I love you guys. I just want you to know that I didn't even plan this out today. I just jumped in and decided to be spontaneous because God told me I'm being too restricting with myself. Setting times and limits and, you know, I got to study and I got to do this. And God's like, get your butt impromptu and go for it. So here I am, okay? Here I am. Yield and be flexible. Yes. Our leaders need to learn to yield and be flexible, but they're not. They're not. They're hard on us. Hard for our money. Hard for us wanting to work. Hard for us to want to go to war. And I'm talking about the leaders around the world because if one family has to send their children to battle, we should all be praying against that. And for that child and that family that's been so subdued that they feel like they have to give their children to save their ass. Sound familiar? Wow, that just came out. You don't have to give your children. We need to stand up in peace and fight for peace. That this should be a peaceful world, that it don't have to be full of duality and conflict. That there's plenty of resources for everybody. I mean, how much more does a big giant leader need? What else can we give you to make you happy, old fat ass leaders? You get 10 to 12 hours a day from us. You get our money for food from us. We have to pay for every little thing that comes along. Now you want to start a war again and take more of our lives. To leave more for you and your fat ass families. Yes, I'm saying it. It's called righteous wrath. Righteous wrath. And we all have a right to have a little bit of it. It don't mean we got to go kill somebody. What it means is we talk about it and we come together and we decide that this isn't what we want. That we don't want to see children in cages. We don't want to see women raped by our sons who are in a pack dog mentality over in another country. Although they ain't going to tell us what they did, we can imagine some of the horrors of what happens when a bunch of men get together. I know. I don't know, but I think about it. I've seen TV. I've added 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 times 2 equals 2 times 2, 4. No, wait, 2. I don't know. It don't matter. I guess I can't add math, but I can add up what happens when a bunch of boys get together and they're all blood hungry and blood mad and blood thirsty and covered in blood. The 7 of water represents letting go and surrendering to the flow of life and doing so with complete trust and faith. She is about relinquishing control over all relationships and outcomes and believing that whatever unfolds in the future is what is meant to be. She has worked diligently in the present, imbuing all she does with her love so as to create a future that will bring what she needs to learn, heal, and grow. Now content and satisfied because she knows she has done everything she can. She lays back to rest, allowing herself to flow to the next moment and task. Flow. So, this card is about control of others. The need to control others or a situation is born of fear of losing out. So, we're going to talk about the leaders that are ordering this war now, okay? The need to control others or a situation is born of fear. Whether that fear is about losing someone or something we love, of being alone, or is simply a fear of failure or missing out, we do what we can to maintain the illusion that we have control. But control is only an illusion, even if we would like to believe otherwise. We can make empowered choices and work with due diligence and dedication. We can create with the purest of tensions and be motivated by love. But the outcomes we desire will also be influenced by timing, circumstances, and other people, both those close to us and those of whom we have no knowledge. Those of whom we have no knowledge. The leaders of the world. Because of this, we can have only a partial influence, and the rest is up to fate. If we try to exert more influence and control, we risk sabotaging our hopes and desires and manifesting an outcome that is vastly different to the one desired. How do you hold on to water? The future is not fixed. It is fluid and shifting and so vast with infinite possibilities that it cannot be contained. Allow it to be. And I had to allow my son Rob. I had to allow him to go to war, 18 years old, fresh faced, beautiful smile, happy heart, in love with life, no idea what he was going to get into. And he come back and he told me, I can't even tell you the stories, Mom. And I'm like, I don't really want to hear them either. So I guess God is telling us no matter what, we have no control over what's going to happen. But we can doggone sure pray out to the collective. We can share collectively our ideas and thoughts about war and how we feel about sending people into violence to face horrible situations that they'll never be the same. Of course, we want to pray for those who are at war too, because we have wars going on right now. We always have wars going. Why? Why? It's all about the control. We cannot control anyone. We can't even control our own children after they get to a certain age. I learned that long ago. God told me I had to let it up, let it go. They're not yours. They belong to me. You're just the portal they came through. That's what God told me. And then you look out into nature And every one of the mothers release their children to go. Every one of them. Not one mother holds on to their children. They keep them, as long as they want to stay. But the minute the child is ready to wander off after it's hit a certain age, mama lets it go. And so that's what we have to do too. But, we can begin talking to our children now about war and what it does. We can let them know from an early age that this is not something, you don't want to save it until the call comes out and, the glorious, you're going to fight for your country. You're going to be a hero. You're going to be, don't wait till they hear that call, because that call, they make it all sound about honor and, you're going to be taken care of the rest of your life, and, you're going to have a career in the service and blah, 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 blah. Very few who go through battle make it through a career in the service. It's really a hard thing. You gotta be a real tough nut. Real tough nut. Okay, Creator, what would you say now? Thought. Put a lot of thought into what you teach your children about life, to teach that life is sacred and death is sure, because we never know how long we get to be here. That's why life is sacred. You can be born and die the next day. You can be born and die a month later. You can be born and die 20 years later. You can be born and die 50 years later. That's why life is sacred, because you don't know it's a gift. It's not something you get to keep and hold on to. It's something that you get and you do the best you can with it until it's time to give it back. And so that means life is sacred, and we're not supposed to kill other life. We're not supposed to take other life. Especially any life. I believe that this is true. We just shouldn't kill. Especially for pleasure. Especially to get what we want. Especially to have our own way. Especially for personal reasons. We're supposed to work these things out. We're supposed to become human, kind, gentle. We rise ourselves up above the animals, right? And become something different in between the animal and a godlike thing. Okay, we'll read Thought. Although Thought says it all, right? She's looking in this bowl. I see orange and blue back there. So this is her sacral chakra that she's looking into, her creative source, because we create out of our sacral chakra. It's our creative source. So she's looking at creating her thoughts, her love, and thoughts can manifest, right? And that's what I'm hoping right now. I'm praying that the thoughts that I'm given is helping to manifest the ideal and revulsion towards war, and to bring more relationships together to where we can talk and work things out as a human around the globe, humanely. What are we fighting for? Why do we need to conquer? There is no land left to take. It belongs to families and people and animals. What else is there? What more can you desire? You can only have so much. There's only so much material stuff on this planet to take. You got to be happy at some point in time. Will they ever be satisfied? Shit, we're lucky if we can get a little house with a little square of land. You know, enough to have a few flowers and a little corn. and they're people, these leaders owning whole continents and not happy with it. Where does it end? What will make them happy? To own the world? I don't want to be under their leadership. You know, I don't think America is the greatest place in the world, but I know that it's not the worst. You know, we're pretty much middle here. Yeah, we're not the best country, but we're not the worst. Okay, I guess we've almost, I guess I'm kind of ranting. But you know what? I'm being me. I'm being me. And if nobody don't like it, they don't have to watch it. And if you do like it, please like and share. But this is how I feel. I love you guys. I love your lives. God loves them. And we have to stand up. We have to stand up. Perception. I'll definitely have to read that one. Perception. 21:3. Perception. You know, I love you guys. I love us. I love my children. I love my family, what little bitty one I have. I do not want to, well, I don't have no more children to go to war, but I don't want to see your kids going to war either. I don't want to see no kids have to go to war. I would rather see kids having great college educations. That's what their kids are doing. You can bet their kids are in the best college. Yeah, and these kind of things really upset me. Well, guess I should watch what I'm doing. 21. Perception. Yeah, my perception. That's what I'm giving you, I guess, is my perception of this whole situation, of them glorifying war when really they should be ashamed. That's my perception. They should be ashamed. Perception, understanding, worldview, opinion of self, clarity, objectivity. Perception shapes your worldview. Understand what your senses tell you. This is God asking you to understand how you feel about things. Knowledge and understanding are limited. Changed perception cannot be unchanged. Is your perception clouded? Take the high ground. Seek a new perspective. Challenge your perception. Who influences your perception? Do you have all the facts? Represent yourself honestly. Watch for false perceptions. Okay? Well, in your worldview, when you look out, what do you see? What do you feel? I mean, it is one world and you are one person. You have a right to have your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own perceptions. We all do. You know, if mine don't suit you, that's just fine. That's fine. But, what are your perceptions? How do you feel? Do you believe that it's okay to go to war with other countries over silly stuff? Or does this make you uncomfortable? Or do you not care at all? Perception shapes your worldview. Understand what your senses tell you. Knowledge and understanding are limited. Changed perception cannot be unchanged. Okay. Meaning, perception. The fifth of the influence cards pertains to the organization, identification, interpretation of sensory information in order to understand what we sense and experience. When the perception card appears in your reading, it symbolizes an opportunity or need to look at how you analyze and interpret your experiences, and how your interpretation then influences your choices and ability to see and weigh options and opportunities. Our lives are built upon the foundations laid by our perception. How we perceive the world and those around us influences our ability to learn, our understanding of cause and effect, our ability to see and weigh our options and to make decisions. There is no area of our life that is not influenced by our perception, how we see things. Our lives could be empowered and fulfilled because how we perceive our reality gives us confidence. Or our lives can be destroyed in an instant if our idea of what is real is revealed to be a lie and our perceptions are shattered. Our perception can be accurate and precise. It can also be false and founded in misinformation, illusion, or imagination. Our knowledge, the knowledge we possess that is born of education, study, and practical application, can increase our perceptiveness. However, our knowledge can be limited. It can be inaccurate and flawed. For example, our knowledge of other people is limited by the fact that we only know what they reveal to us, and then we process and analyze that information by making comparisons to ourselves. However, they are not us. They might be like us in some ways, but completely different in more ways. We do not know their innermost thoughts and feelings, so what we know of them is often based on little fact and a lot of assumption. For instance, me, I hardly know you guys at all, but I show you a lot more about me. You know, you see me, and what you see is what you get day to day. What you see is how my family sees me too. So I'm not changing anything when I get on here. What I'm trying to change is the world. I'm trying to let people see, to love themselves, to love God, to love creation, to love where they are at the moment, to perceive that things can be better than what we have, to be happy with what we got, but to continue to move forward into a future to leave a better one for our children, to perceive better things. And I don't see wars being a good thing. I see that there could be peace on earth if we didn't have a damn thing to have to fight for. You know, what are we fighting for? There's no more land to be had. And even if you had to fight for that land, obviously it's not yours. Kick. Yeah, it's not your land if you got to fight for it. If you got to fight to get it, if it's already somebody else's land, then you leave it with them. Okay, well, I feel a whole lot better now after expressing myself and, just letting people know that you can be strong. You can change your perception on wars. We don't need to give our children to the man anymore to use as pawns in their big giant war games with the big old war machine. And, teach your children that war is horrible. Teach them while they're young about death, about violence, about things that shouldn't be in our lives but are. And they try to say, well, it's to teach you a lesson, it's to help you grow up. And, meanwhile, I want to be like, right? Right? Why can't we learn that from school, education, and things like that? Why do we have to get beat up to learn that there are bullies in this world, and that we have to learn to protect ourselves and avoid these things? Bullies. The only way to solve that is to stand up to a bully. If you don't stand up to the bully keeps bullying. That's why we want to teach our children to learn martial arts, kung fu, defense. These are defense fighting. You know, if anybody comes up on them, they are capable of defending themselves and making the other boy or girl look silly, you know, for even trying. You should all teach your children self defense, always, and not to go to war, but just to defend themselves, even in school, from the bullies. And okay, guys, I guess I'm done here. I've come on and spoke my piece, and it is about peace. It is about teaching your children very early on that war is not honorable, and that, you know, I mean, if they were to attack us, it'd be one thing. We would have to do something. But if they're attacking other countries and call for our help, that's not good. That's not good. Now, there's countries under war right now, and it's just not good. It's not good. Children are dying. Hospitals are getting wrecked. Why do we have to be this way? And we don't want to support those who are at war, who are killing kids, who are bombing other countries or other states or other. We do not support that. Or I don't. God don't. God is about life, not death. God would never give his children to die for somebody else, especially God. Okay. All right. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Please like, share, subscribe. It's just the way I feel about life and love and liberty. And it doesn't involve killing other people. It involves, you know, growing up and sending love and making sure everybody has food and a home. And we can do that. There's enough resources. We do not have to kill other people for anything. Okay, love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.